This is going anywhere between 10 and $15,000. SRP on it, I think, was 8,000, but the secondary market and everything. This is a really really rare bottle,
Wait,
and
so you sent me a fucking gift for that's worth 15, $20,000? Is that what you're trying to tell me
uh,
right now?
The Fred Minnick Show is brought to you by The Beeline, Michter's, and 291 Colorado Whiskey.
And joining the Fred Minnick Show on the Beeline hotline, go to findyoursippingpoint.com to check out the bourbon bars in Northern Kentucky, is the one, the only, the great, the multi-award winning Ludacris. How you doing, sir?
I'm feeling good today, my man. I mean, I got a bunch of free whiskey sent by you, so how the hell could I not feel good right now? You understand what I'm telling you? This is the
uh,
best quarantine ever when you have whiskeys like these literally in front of you, and when good friends and good individuals that you trust and know about rare things that you've never tried, those are the days that we live for all of the people watching. That's what I'm about. I love it.
I love it. And to that point, a mutual friend connected us, and that is Fawn Weaver, who owns Uncle Nearest, and wanted to make sure we both like give a shout out to her for this connection because she knows you love whiskey, and I'm a big fan of Uncle Nearest, but I know you're friends with Fawn.
Man, listen, Fawn is probably one of the greatest human beings with 2 feet on earth. And I've only known her for probably about a year now, and I'm just here to let you know. I mean, I aspire to grow up to be like Fawn Weaver. I mean, I'm not just saying that. I really appreciate her, how like her diligence, her passion, her
Mm-hmm.
thoughtfulness, her intelligence, her strategy. You know what I mean? Her alliances, her integrity. I don't want to go too far, but listen, she's the best person in the world, man.
She's definitely a role model for a lot of us, and especially in the spirits industry. She's been shaking it up, and really is. She's become a friend, a really good friend, and it's exciting to see what she's done with Uncle Nearest as well. And it's probably the fastest growing brand I have ever witnessed in my career. It's amazing.
And I love that. And when you hear the story about Uncle Nearest himself and all of the things that people did not know about, it's like history, man. It's history that tried to got swept under the rug, and now it's coming to light. So it makes it even more exciting. And when you taste that whiskey, you feel like you're tasting a part of history, man. Part of
That's right.
history that was untold until recently. So, she's doing a great job of uncovering all of that. And I appreciate her for that.
And so she knew you were a spirits fan, and you've done a little playing around with spirits yourself with some cognac. You've done some blending and so forth. It's take me through your normal tasting process. How do you normally taste your spirits?
Man, I'm blessed enough to, like you said, I was in Cognac, France. Man, I've been in Jalisco, Mexico, tequila. I've been to Russia and explored the vodkas there, in Poland. I have been to, Ireland and checked out the whiskeys there. I've been in Scotland. I've been in the Highlands. I've been to Kentucky. I've been to Tennessee. Man, I'm so blessed. And to answer your question, man, it just depends on the exact spirit. You go through the au vu when it comes to the cognacs, and you taste all these different aged, processes that are in oak barrels, which we all know and love so much. And then different climates that you're in all have a lot to do with how certain things taste, and if it's cherry casks or how how things are done. And the whole process is just a passion of mine, and loving and understanding how dark the liquor can get, or how dark the whiskey or dark the cognac, because of how long it's aged, and comparing and contrast, and whiskey with an E and whiskey with an EY. I mean, EY is whiskey with a Y. I'm just fascinated with the entire process. So hopefully that lets all the people that's watching right now understand I do this shit, man. That's what I do.
I love it. Well, I sent you. I'll go over some of the things that I sent you and kind of get you a feel for what we have here. This
Hell
is
yeah. I'm gonna take a bite of some chili just so I have some food on my stomach before I start tasting all these goddamn
at,
whiskeys. But I'm gonna let you do what you do.
so we have a vintage Eagle Rare. This would have been distilled in the 60s, and is a 10-year-old. This is coming from a distillery that we now know as Four Roses, and this is one of the best bourbons that you can find that are from long ago.
Right.
I sent you some 291. I got you. You have a different bottle than me, but this is a 291. It's that big one right in front of you there. Some 291 Colorado bourbon whiskey. So a lot of people think bourbon can only be made in Kentucky, but it can in fact be made anywhere in the United States.
Yes, sir.
I sent you a new a relatively new spirit on the market, owned by a company called Heaven Hill, called Larceny. It's been out since 2010.
Yes,
sir. This is their barrel proof.
I like it.
Catoctin Creek, which is this is a maple syrup barrel, and I'll be honest with you, this is not a common one, but this is a rye coming out of Virginia.
Got it.
And then the Beast, the hardest to get, one of only, like, I think we've only got there's less than 300 bottles of this release, and this is the Michter Sour Mash. This is a blend. This is going anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000. SRP on it, I think, was $8,000, but the secondary market and everything. This is a really, really rare bottle. And
wait, so you sent me a fucking gift that's worth $15,000-$20,000? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now?
I did, or actually,
wow.
the distillery did. This right here is one of the greatest, American whiskeys. The Sour Mash, year in, year out when it comes out. It's fantastic. So if you're ready to get into it, I'm ready to jump into it as well. But here's the thing: when it comes to tasting, it's all about the mood, and you're pounding some chili down. So
oh yeah,
I gotta start you off on the right foot here. Like, is the chili tasting all right? Are you getting like some spice? Are you in the mood for spice? Are you in the mood to
that's
sweet?
what I'm trying to do. I'd say give me 5 minutes or so. We can talk about some other things, and then we'll get straight into the whiskeys. But
well,
I'm gonna keep pounding the whiskey down just so I'm good in the game. And I just worked out, so I want to make sure I got the whiskey to help me with recovery from my muscles, and also the chili at the same time.
So you tell me. So I'll be sipping whiskey while you're eating chili. So we keep the the glass. My glass doesn't get mad at me over here. But tell me, what's your workout like? How are you working out during COVID? Because I can't get to the gym.
Man, listen, my workouts. What I've learned over years, man, at least 5 years. Wait, which one are you starting with? I was joking, by the way. I'm about to start drinking with you. There's no way you're gonna start drinking without me.
All right. Well, I started with the. I'll have to re-pour now. I'm gonna start with the Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare, 1970. This was before I was fucking born, man. So thank you for this opportunity. Make sure I might just drink straight out the damn bottle. This is how we do in the club, man. Just woo, smells funny.
Yeah, I had Killer Mike on a while back, and he brought out some moonshine. So, I'll give it to you there. At least you're not busting out some moonshine.
Woo! That's good, man. That's the type of stuff that'll grow hairs on your chest, man. If you don't already have some, this is grown man shit right here. Grown. Woo! The good thing about that is that I love whiskeys that still they linger on the palate, and they have a variety of different flavors, and you can still taste them seconds and sometimes even minutes after you've taken your first sip. That's what that Eagle Rare 1970 10 year is all about for me. I love the complexity in that thing, man.
And I'll tell you that this is one where you talk about spice. Like it blows up my back palate. It's like real spicy on the back, and then little sweet on the tip.
I agree. You should try eating chili and drinking whiskey one day. It's actually pretty good, man.
I've done it a few times. I'm a big fan of barbecue and whiskey. That's like
I like that too. There you go.
I'm in Louisville, and our barbecue's not nearly as good as Atlanta, but I love just finding those like holes in the walls in Atlanta and eating some barbecue. Do you have a favorite barbecue spot out there? Because there's so many.
Man, listen, I love my city, but when it comes to barbecue, you have Memphis, Tennessee, and you have Kansas City, Missouri. And I'm gonna be honest, man, those two places,
That's true.
they know how to do it a little bit better than the rest of us, man. So I have to put my hats off and hands down to those two places.
Now I'm a rendezvous guy from Memphis. I love some rendezvous. Do you have a favorite Memphis barbecue spot?
Man, there's so many, so it's hard to choose just one, man. But I like the rendezvous as well. So I'm not gonna be on. I'm not gonna lie to you, but there are some other ones.
Yeah, there's. That's
So
making me
many.
hungry, Luda. I want some barbecue now, and I didn't work out, and in fact, you could say I'm a little tubby. So when I eat the barbecue, I get me a couple racks.
Got
So-
you.
So when you look back on your career, I mean, you started at 9 years old, really. You know, how much has changed in the business, and how much have you changed, do you think?
Man, I've changed so much, and the business has changed so much. I allow myself to mature. You know, I don't like to hold myself back. I don't like to hustle backwards, as they like to say. And the industry has changed so much, man. Not only going from obviously cassette tapes to CDs to to MP3s and going through the album phase and then going only to singles phases and back to albums and now to streaming and social media. You know, it's good, man. If you don't evolve, you'll evaporate, as they say. So I just love to evolve with the industry and love to stay a competitor because that's what keeps us all hungry. You know, not only in competition with the ones that came before me, but now the ones that come after me as well. And it gets harder and harder of a challenge. But anybody knows the manly men, the ones that are always just testosterone filled like myself, it's what drives the blood through our veins to continue to compete against all different ages and individuals to try to continue to prove to people where you sit, you know, on the throne and where you should be in the level of competition in everyone's eyes.
You know, I wish more people could like, you know, hear that, because the amount of work, you know, you put into whether it's Fast and Furious or, you know, the multiple albums you've put out. I mean, we're coming up on a 20-year anniversary for you. I mean, it's a lot of work. You're not just sitting back and these things are coming to you, you know. You got to work your ass off.
Man, you have to. Especially like you just said, you mentioned something very, very, you know, very important that a lot of people don't realize is that some people are able to focus just on one craft, man, and just like, honestly, that's all they do all day, every day. It becomes even more of a challenge when you're blessed enough to do music and do movies, and you kind of have to, you know, juggle your time and energy and passion between the two. And obviously, as you're doing one more, the other one is kind of getting away. So, you know, it's like one of those things where I'm so happy that I'm able to fulfill my curiosity in acting and be, you know, considered an official actor now because of the things and choices that I've made in movies. But it's also hard sometimes to be like, damn, man, you know, I could have been working on an album during this time and it's gotten away from me, but I'm happy that I have this movie. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's just, it's complex in that there's a lot going on, you know?
And let's be honest, you were in the, you know, the greatest movie of the 21st century, in my opinion, Crash. You know, that was the, you know, you played a significant role in that movie, and that's one of those movies that, you know, 50 years from now, people will still be talking about.
I agree, man. And that's why I say I'm blessed, man, because obviously there have been a lot of movies, but this one right here, everyone, by the way, who did that movie, if you look at all the A-list stars, we all took like scale pay. Nobody got paid. We read that script and everybody was like, I have to be a part of this movie. And that's how much we loved it, man. And it's like, we all took stuff on the back end, but up front, we hardly got any money. And it was like not a big production because it was independent. And then it later got sold to Lionsgate. But just here to let you know, man, that whole process was just something that everyone believed in and everybody came together to make a statement. And what's even crazier is that was the same year that Brokeback Mountain was winning all the awards at the for that whole season of award shows. So if you ever look back or you want to Google the Oscars and the actual movie Crash winning the Oscar, we had no idea. If you look on all of our faces that we were going to win that Oscar because we knew that Brokeback Mountain was a shoe-in to get it. And so that was probably one of the best experiences ever because it was so surprising that it actually pulled through and won for Best Movie, man. Crazy.
That's awesome. And right around that time, Hustle and Flow, also, one of those movies that kind of like that showed the grind of your profession, in many ways.
That's right. And that was believe it or not, I think that was around the same time, if not they both got, Oh, no. I mean, it might have been a year apart because I remember.
They were close together.
Right. Yes, they were very close together. And the reason being is because Terrence Howard was in both of those movies. And so I remember him being there. But I definitely remember 3 6 Mafia, since we're talking about Memphis, winning an Oscar for, best song for the movie Hustle and Flow. And I couldn't be happier, man. They left the Oscars and went to the club holding their actual Oscar. They went to the club with the Oscar.
Did they make it home? Did they make it home with it?
They absolutely did, man. And you got to think, you can't think of too many people from the hood that won an Oscar. You got to go show the hood. And that's what happened.
That's awesome. Well, as we move to the Catoctin Creek one, this is a maple cash finish. This is going to be
Catoctin
sweet.
Creek. You said you poured this on pancakes, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this will be interesting. I always got to make sure
We're jumping.
Damn, it smells like syrup. This is crazy.
We're jumping, really. We're jumping from like a historic bourbon to like kind of like a change in scenery, if you will, in styles.
Listen, bro, I'm definitely making pancakes tomorrow, and I'm definitely pouring this on there. This is so good, but you have to explain to me the sugar content when it comes to ones that are more like, as you say, you compare them to syrup as some of the more aged ones. Is it that there's more, is there more sugar? Like what's going on there? Because you got people in here trying to stay healthy, but also drink their whiskey as well.
So actually, unless you see the word flavored on the label, they don't add anything. When they say here, finished in a single maple syrup barrel, that means the distillers, they bought barrels that had been aging maple syrup and cleaned them out and then put whiskey in it. And so there might be a little bit of contact from original maple syrup, but it would be very, very, very little. It's not like they went and dumped maple syrup in there.
Got it.
So it's a whiskey technique that they basically call finishing. And it's a little bit, it's not very defined. It's not very regulated. And, it's a little bit of the Wild West. And so things like this are very interesting, but they're all the regulations on them are very loose. So, but Catoctin Creek is not someone who's going to be, while they're finishing it, going over and dumping a bottle of maple syrup in there. Some people would. The whiskey business is full of shenanigans. A lot of shenanigans.
I like it because I can taste the maple, the maple syrup of it being in that cask, man. I love that. So thank you for this experience, bro.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, I was wanting to ask you, since I've been to so many different places, and I was talking about how in different regions of the world they can age things longer, and because of the climate, it may be a little smoother. And sometimes, here. I heard about in Kentucky and obviously in Tennessee, since we have seasons that are hotter here as opposed to in the Highlands where it's a little cooler pretty much year round. Yep. The difference between how things can age technically, or they age faster, and why a lot of people prefer whiskeys that really are strong and have that little burn to them as opposed to people who prefer the smoother ones. So I just wanted to get your take on that because this is a learning experience for me as well.
So there's a couple things, right? So in American whiskey, it kind of revolves around what we call the new charred oak barrel. Like, so it's new, fresh off the line, it's charred, the whiskey goes in it, and then it's in a warehouse for 8 to 15 years or whatever. And in that time, it's moving in and out of the barrel every single day. Like you look at this, this is a beautiful amber color, but when it went into the barrel, it was clear as the water from your tap. And then, meanwhile, in Kentucky or Tennessee or Texas, where they're also making a lot of whiskey, it gets really hot in the summer and it gets really cold in the winters. And so that's pushing the whiskey in and out of the barrel. Now, if you take a look at some other whiskey countries like Canada, Ireland, and Scotland, they're going into used bourbon barrels. So those barrels that they're getting have already been worn, so they've already been beaten up a little bit, had a lot of whiskey in them already. So something like Crown Royal, which is, very popular, it's going into used barrels. And something like Johnny Walker going into used barrels. Jameson, used barrels. So that's one thing. Another thing is that they are also, a lot of times, those types of like mainstream products that are, that they're just churning out, they're cutting them down to like 80 proof. So what we have tasted here today, the Eagle Rare, was 101 proof. And the Catoctin Creek, that one was... you might be mad at me. This was 118 proof. So this was packing some heat.
Let me tell you something. There's no way I could be mad at you. Isn't today Monday? Today's Monday, right?
Yes.
Friday. So the good thing is that's the best day to drink. The best day to drink is Monday, right? Because people always talk about a bad case to the Mondays. You can either flip your Mondays right now and start calling it whiskey Mondays, and it'll make your idea and interpretation and perception of Mondays it'll feel like a Saturday. That's how I feel.
I feel like during COVID, like every day is just kind of like jumbled in, like as one day. It's kind of weird. How have you been handling all the lockdowns and quarantines and COVID and everything?
Well, you got to understand, man, I want to just say first and foremost, man, I have been on the road and doing shows and putting out albums for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. So I can't speak for everybody because I'm sure there are a lot of artists that are pissed off. And yeah, I'm not doing shows right now. They got cut off like everyone else. But luckily, I have been able to kind of like venture off, from one stream of income, and me being able to kind of chill and enjoy the home that I have worked so hard in order to get during this time frame. I am actually, enjoying myself and able to get a lot of business done, even like this, virtually, and not having to physically move around as much and get on planes, trains, and automobiles at such a rate where it's at the speed of need. So it's been a great process for me personally, of course, outside of all the negative and terrible things that are happening in the world.
Yeah, you obviously you have a family, and I travel a lot too, and I've really enjoyed the time I've had. And then when things started to open up again, it was just like the world just started kind of pulling you back into it, and now everything's locking down again, and it's like, oh, I'm home for dinner, so it's
exactly.
It is.
Hey man, you know what? And like you definitely said the right thing, man. I'm a girl dad, and I have a lot of girls, and it's nothing but women in my house. So I, for one, am so glad that I've got to spend a lot of time with them. But at the same time, I'm glad for friends like you for sending me whiskey when times get rough, when it's only women in my household, and I'm the only pair of balls and testosterone fulfilling it. So these things help, and I appreciate that, man.
Heck yeah. Well, let's go to the
Larceny.
Yeah, I was gonna say Larceny barrel proof.
Larceny barrel proof, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to figure out the difference between all of these. Obviously, the first two, I love them, but the Catoctin Creek, however you pronounce it, it's the maple in that is very prevalent.
So here we are. This is a Larceny barrel proof. This is 123.2 proof.
Shit.
And this is batch A120.
120. What's the highest proof? What's the highest proof you've ever drank?
Off the still, I've had it like so. Okay, this is straight off the still at a distillery that was doing high proof stuff, like 190. Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah,
you
just
could
a
probably
little bit.
you could probably start your car with that shit.
Yeah, they can make ethanol with that. Yeah.
Got you, bro. Listen, man, this is strong, definitely strong. Even if
Now,
you would not have said 121 or whatever you said, bro, I'd have tasted it. This is not for the weak. Hey, can you tell everybody that doesn't know that I just learned about? It's always good to have a drop of ice, or I'm sorry, a drop of water when you have really good whiskey, because it helps to dissipate something. I want to understand this. There's something like that. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so this is a theory amongst some. It depends on the whiskey. I believe in tasting the whiskey first, how it's out of the bottle.
I like this.
And then adding a little water or maybe some ice to see if it changes.
Mm-hmm.
But these are depending on, basically this is chemistry, and the water changes the chemistry of the liquid, and if it's cold, if you have ice in there, it kind of spreads out like some of like the fatty acids, and it changes the chemical structure of it. And it will hit your palate differently. It'll taste differently, but it's
so it's a preference thing.
It is, and
Got you.
I do not. I'm not one of those tasters where I believe in saying there's a right way to do it. I think you taste it however you like, but if you're gonna pour a $10,000 whiskey with Coke, just ask me to let me know so I can leave the room and not have
exactly. I agree. Yo, I'm gonna have to agree with you there, bro. I just went on vacation and I took my uncles. They're in their 70s, man, because, I just wanted to hang with them. And I brought some of the best Scotch whiskeys that you could possibly imagine. And I just brought some of the best spirits, period. But, Macallan Estate, and then, that's a new one that I really enjoy. And then the Macallan Rare Cask. And, I really like Balvenie, 21, and Glenfiddich, I think 25, and Glenlivet 25 as well. A lot of these are Scotches, of course. And then some of the peaty ones, like the Lagavulin, how do you pronounce it?
Lagavulin
and Bruichladdich, I believe.
Bruichladdich, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've tasted all of these, and I just love the variety, bro. And when you talk, and then you bring it back to the States and you think about Uncle Nearest and how fast their success has been, it's just so amazing to be able to have these choices, man. And every day you should have a different whiskey. That's how I feel. Every day. For all the whiskey lovers on here.
By God, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. So do you have a pretty good collection then? You got a pretty good collection of spirits?
I wish I had a good collection. I drink all of them. So I'm not like you. I see what's going on in the background. I'm not able to buy anything and then keep it full. And I'm not like my friends who drink the shit and then pour some cheap shit in there and then make all their friends act like that's what it really was. And it's on the mantelpiece. I can't do it, man. So I'm going to have to build up a tolerance to actually buying stuff and not drinking it.
Well, I'll take care of you from here on. I'll make sure you're stocked with some good stuff. And, I decided, like, one of when you're doing a tasting like this, you got to kind of know the flavor profiles, and you got to know when you might have what we call a palate killer. Not that the whiskey is going to is bad or anything. It's just that there's a particular flavor that is so strong that you don't want to taste anything after that. Like, you just want to either keep drinking that, or you're like, you still taste it. So
no, I 100% agree with you. Whenever I choose a whiskey, I drink pretty much that same one the whole day or the whole night. But I wanted to ask you, what do you feel is the best palate cleanser when drinking whiskeys, if you're going to try different ones within the same time frame?
Absolutely. Great question. So there's a couple answers to that. One, as like a spirits critic, there is the I have a routine where I'm like, if I'm like being like super analytical, I will eat Munster cheese. And Munster cheese is like fatty, and it coats your palate.
Yeah.
And then I'll have some soda water or mineral water. And then after that, I'll add almonds, and the bitterness from the almonds will kind of take what's left from the.
Oh my goodness!
From that,
bro.
and then
This is the greatest
soda water.
question ever because I'm loving the answer. You're gonna have to email me this just so that I can make sure I remember. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Can you pick which particular cheese you want, or is it Munster cheese that's the particular one that
it has to be Munster because it's not. It's just fatty. It's for the most part. It's got flavor to it, but it's not overpowering. So if you were to do that with say Parmesan, or if you do it with like a like a cheddar, I mean it could like damage your palate to the next one. So you need some kind of fat cleanser, and then you need a bitterness. And then you need like the soda water, which comes in and cleans it out. And then to make sure your palate is not burned, get like let's see if I have some in the desk.
It's got the almonds.
Get some. Nope, don't have any. Get some like basic like unsalted, like real skinny crackers. And if you can't taste the cracker like all over your tongue, then your palate is burned. You know, so.
Damn it, man.
So that's the long answer. The short answer, soda water. It's rinsing your mouth out with like Pellegrino, or just like a can of like unsweetened soda water.
Okay, sounds good, bro.
So now we go to the Michters, the celebration here. This is the.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been waiting for. The moment we've all been waiting for. So we're gonna do this one last.
Yeah, we're gonna do that one last because the thing is like this one is so elegant and it's so complex, and the other one is a bruiser, and I don't want this is Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
This is Jim Brown. So
I'm definitely. Oh, got you. Okay, I'm definitely definitely drinking out the bottle, bro. I gotta do it. Tell me about this one, man, because you said this is worth 15 and 20 grand. I'm like amazed right now.
To be honest with you, this thing is like it is extraordinarily. It's the hardest American whiskey to get because there's so few of them, and there's like for this one, this is less than 300 bottles. So there's this is basically a blend. This is a blend of whiskeys.
I gotta send a picture of this shit to the homies. This is ridiculous, man. Damn it. Let them know that this is what we'll be drinking this weekend.
And one of the things that this distiller does is they have a lot of older whiskeys, and they're a company that their world started in Pennsylvania, and that when they were in Pennsylvania, Michter's went out of business, and the new owners acquired the company late 1980s, and then they started, they kind of transferred it from Pennsylvania to Kentucky. And they were buying stocks of whiskey from other people, and so they got a lot of stocks from other distillers, and then they started distilling their own stuff in a few years ago, but they were contracting with other people, and so these would be whiskeys that in the whiskey business they don't always tell you where all their stuff comes from. So this is coming from probably a couple different distilleries. The stocks in here are 20 years, and so we 20 years and up. So I would say that this is just a mingling, a blend of some of Kentucky's best, from that period.
Yeah, I have released 3 bottle 53 of 277 bottles made. So now I'm starting to really understand what you mean by $15,000. That's how you know when people are writing in shit and it's not mass produced. And then it smells like heaven and Teen Spirit mixed together. And I haven't even tasted it yet, but I'm telling you, this is wow. Just plain wow. Thank you for this this experience and this opportunity, man. I know I'm not really supposed to do this, drink straight out of the bottle. You got to let it swig, but I'm just feeling like that today. I just, I don't know what it is. I'm feeling good.
Hey, man, you're Luda. You do whatever you want.
Wow. I talked earlier about complexities and literally having an experience of tasting a whiskey that lasts longer than 60 seconds.
Wow.
That is what the fuck is going on right now as we speak. This feels like the wooden fireplace, warmth with family around, seasons changing. You feel it. This is, you know what this bottle is to me, bro? This shit feels like the word security comes to mind. Like as I drink it, I feel more secure. It gives you this warm feeling that you can accomplish anything, and that it gives you confidence. Of course, most liquor does that, but what I mean by this type of confidence, this is a different type of confidence. This is a nostalgic, my life coming together, all the good times that I've had, culmination, confidence of I've made it through the worst parts and I can make it through anything type of whiskey. That's how good this whiskey is, bro. Wow.
Yeah, this is to me, this is
Woo!
This is something that just, it's great. I mean, it's hard to put.
Look,
it's
you're at a loss for words. I was almost at a loss for words. You saw me stumbling. Now you're stumbling, and this is your damn podcast, man. So what do you want to say? Try and get it across.
This is what I do. But honestly, I haven't tasted this. I haven't tasted this in probably 4 years. So it's like, I'll tell you, it is just saturating my palate. Like, so it's like covering my palate like butter.
Exactly.
Just dripping down, like it's just dripping
everywhere, bro.
I just don't want to
pause.
I don't want to.
Man, I promise you, man. See, this is what I was trying to tell you. There's no way I could keep this stocked up there as a collection piece on the mantle. Like there's no way I would not drink this. And I'm also a cigar person, which a lot of people, I haven't said that yet, but I'm such a cigar person. And, I'm a very candid individual, man. I love my country, and I love Kentucky, and I love Tennessee. I love Texas. I loved Scottish whiskeys probably more than I liked American ones. But this right here is making me change my entire perspective of the United States of America when it comes to whiskey, bro. Because I know I probably piss a couple people off by saying that, but I mean, your opinion and what you like is subjective. And I wasn't mad throwing that out there about my personal preference, but God damn it, this is amazing. This is going to be, I need to figure out how to get more bottles of this is all I'm saying. Shit. But not for the $15,000 price tag.
Well, I'll see if we can track down the other 268 bottle holders.
Which number do you have?
I am 236.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. Woo!
I almost don't want to. I mean, we do got to get to the other one.
I know.
Let's keep sipping on this one while just kind of
I'm gonna try the chili with it.
Yeah. You know what? I was thinking? The McRib is coming out. I was thinking about pairing the McRib to Michter's.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea.
What would go wrong?
I don't know. Processed food and phenomenal fine liquor that's not been processed, but it probably doesn't go together.
I don't
like it's been processed, but not processed in the same way that a McRib has. Let's put it that way.
It is it's just fascinating. The McRib's coming out. It's one of those phenomenons, and I'm trying to think of like what's the perfect whiskey to go with it.
Wait, why are you trying to pair a whiskey with the McRib? Maybe I'm missing something here. Help me understand.
It is. I'm just intensely like fascinated with the McRib. I always have been.
Yo,
I've got my reasoning, but it's like, and now that it's coming back out, and this is what I do. I'm like, what can I pair with the McRib?
Yo, this is hilarious, man. You know what? It's so off the cusp of what the hell that I would ever think you would say is that right now I have to take the opportunity while we have a lot of fathers and grandfathers on the line, and even some, some women that love whiskeys as well. I have this shirt on. It says Kid Nation. So I just launched this platform for all the kids. It's a safe
Yeah.
platform. So the app is out, and then you can go to kidnation.com, and it's literally a whole safe environment of music videos by kids and for kids that is all positive, positive music and positive videos. Because as we know, a lot of music that our kids love to listen to doesn't have necessarily the content that we want them to listen to. So if you guys just check this out, I promise you will not be disappointed. Tell your daughters, tell your sons, tell your granddaughters, tell your grandsons, like whatever it is, trust me, we're going to change the world with this, and you have to be the change that you want to see. And so I'm just trying to balance things out. I make enough adult content, so now I have a team of people making kid content. So it's out of this world.
Has your your content creation changed when you became a father?
My content creation, it's changed a little bit. Not just because I became a father, but just like I said, the maturing process. Mm-hmm. So, the fact that I have all girls, yes, it's definitely changed. But it changed, just mature, just evolution. Because I'm not going to stop doing adult content because I'm an adult. You know what I mean? That would be like Chris Rock still not doing stand-up comedy, or Dave Chappelle just because they have kids. Like, you make adult content, and that's part of the reason I wanted to do, then release this Kid Nation, which literally just came out. So this is great that we're talking about it. Yeah. But the Kid Nation platform is something I wanted to do, just because it's kind of balancing a lot of, what I do out. And it's giving other people opportunities, teachers, students, and even kids, man. We're helping facilitate what the kids want. We have songs about science, about math, about, getting good grades, about drinking water, about eating vegetables. And they're very, very catchy. So if the kids listen to them over and over again, it gets in their head. I even have this one song that's talking about doing chores. And at the end of the video, the kids get a party. And my kids watched it one time and pulled the damn stool up to the sink and started doing dishes. I was like, what are you doing? They were like, well, our parties are coming. Our birthdays are coming up. We want to make sure we get rewarded with the party as well. So we're going to do our chores. If that's not a testament to how strong and powerful Kid Nation is, then I don't know what is. So I just wanted to get that out the way. We can go back to whiskey, but it's important that everybody
how do we?
understand.
Is it like an OTT network? Is it a built-in app? How do we get it?
It's both, bro. You can go get the app from your Android or your Apple, and then also, you can also go on kidnation.com. So KIDNATION.com, man. There you have it.
I'm gonna go check that out. I got a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, so different, different like issues with both of them. So, and reruns of Sesame Street are really getting old in the house. Just put it that way.
Well, listen, we're so far ahead of our time that I guarantee you'll thank me later. Just the same way I'm thanking you for these whiskeys, you're going to thank me for Kid Nation. So I appreciate that, bro.
Now, the question is, are you ready to move away from what you have described as the American whiskey that's changing your mind about American whiskey in the Michter's Sour Mash Celebration?
I am, just so I clarify, I also love American whiskeys. If I had to choose.
But we're talking that higher echelon, like Macallan. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about like the Michters. This goes toe to toe for you for those higher end Macallans you're talking about.
Absolutely. And to answer your question, I am ready, just because I can't wait to compare and contrast what I just had a sip of and what I'm about to have a sip of.
Now, these are 291
as well.
Made in Colorado at a higher elevation.
Oh shit!
It's younger, but it's up in the mountains, and they finish with aspen staves, so they have kind of like some real like bitterness and smoke to them. So when you said you liked Lagavulin, I thought this might hit your sweet spot on the smokiness.
Bro, you know what's crazy is that when you've had the opportunity and you've been fortunate enough to visit some of these distilleries and you see the whole process, it just makes drinking whiskey that much more special, man, especially when you can smell it. And then it literally just takes you back to those moments where you see how they put it and age it in the barrels. So, yeah, man. Wow. that has a little bit more of it has a distinctive taste to it. Like you just said, it's almost like has two different parts. It has the smoky part comes second. And so at first you taste it and you're like, okay, Colorado whiskey. And then you're like, oh, and then you get something new. And I think I taste a little cherry too, man.
That's not a bad...
Oh, look, it says finished in cherry and peach. Listen, I promise I didn't see that. Finished in cherry and peach wine barrels. This is good, bro. Wow. Now, listen, obviously, I can't necessarily compare it to what I just drank with.
Yeah. That's
still good.
Yeah, it's not
still
fair
good.
to compare. And, if you want to go back to the Michters, that's just fine as well. Or the other ones to do a compare and contrast. But,
right.
But, as we look at, your career, I think everyone associates, all your accomplishments and everything that you've done, but you've won a lot of awards, but everyone always associates you with Fast and Furious, and you're coming on Fast and Furious 9. You know, is that like, there's not many franchises that make it through 9 seasons, and I'm curious, is it more of an accomplishment or not 9 seasons, but 9, to have 9 movies? Is it more of an accomplishment to be a part of one of the most successful franchises in history, or to win a Grammy?
For me, that's a hard one. I think they're very, very close, but winning a Grammy is going to be number one for me, just because when you're shooting a movie, there's so many different elements. You got the director, you got producers, you got the writer, you have the actors, you do all this. So you're kind of one part of a huge play. And when you win a Grammy, you're pretty much, it's like one of 2 or 3 people that were in the process of making that. So you have the producer, you have the writer, and then maybe you have an A&R or something like that. But it definitely feels more like this is something you did pretty much, more so on your own with the help of a few people, as opposed to you're a part of a huge ensemble when you're in the Fast and Furious franchise. And you do your part and you contribute to it, but not in the way in which you're doing music. And, there are fewer elements.
And your starts, too, are like, a bit on the, the DJ side, the radio side. And you've got so many cool things. I was listening to your station on Apple today. So you've got so much stuff you're doing right now. What is new for you that, may not be as public?
Man, I have a movie that just came out, an independent movie called The Ride, that's on Amazon. I talked about Kid Nation. You guys can go to kidnation.com right now and check that out. I have an animation coming out on Netflix that's based off my oldest daughter. It's called Karma's World, and that comes out November 5th of next year. And this is a 20-year anniversary of the album. We talked about that. We talked about my love for cigars, mostly Cuban cigars and Nicaraguan cigars. Nice. And now my love for, whiskey and being introduced to these new ones that you just let me taste for the first time. And that's pretty much my life right now, quarantining at a beautiful home and beautiful property, drinking whiskey, smoking cigars, making music, and getting ready for next movies and coming out with stuff that I feel is going to be a legacy and change the world as we know it for the newer generation, bro. You pretty much summed it all up, and I will cheers.
I was going to say, I was going to pour myself a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Cheers, my friend.
That's too good, man. That's too good to be true. Damn.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Is there anything else I can help you with, spirit-wise, whiskey-wise, that you got to know, you need to know?
Yo, I'll be in touch, man. Let's just put it that way.
All right.
This is the beginning of a great relationship, man. I thank you, and all of the people watching. We all share the same affinity and love for spirits and whiskeys, and make sure you congratulate this man and give him his flowers and his cherry oak and peach wine cask whiskey palates while he's still here. I appreciate you very much, man. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Be safe out there, and listen, we'll have to do this in person next time.
Absolutely. Cheers. Man. We will. Cheers, bro.
Be safe.
Peace, man.